Car keys?
Yeah.
It's going to be lighting half of the Dark Continent today.
I'm Brent Miller.
Brent, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good
So,
to meet you.
I
Are you going to be our guide for
Yeah,
this little foray?
Yeah, and I just need to know what you need in the way of equipment.
Okay. We have more than enough. What we
Right.
need is someone who can show us, no, they don't, someone who can show us where to tie into power.
Okay.
I need to get into a main box and then string it toward the main body of the house where we're going to work. I'd like to get all the gear to a convenient place all together, get the truck out of the way, and then have you and myself and Steve Fox, one of our hosts who will be going around with you, and Jan Yanahiro, who has disappeared altogether, take a little tour of the house quickly and see the areas that we're going to want to shoot in and make our decisions about where we're going to go, and then we'll know best about how to string electricity out for lights and the equipment.
All right. If you like, you can back the truck right in here.
Super.
The Winchester Mystery House piece is a typical piece for our show. What we try to do is to be informative and at the same time be entertaining. And I had heard about the Winchester Mystery House before and that it was an interesting place. I asked them for a packet of PR material so that I could find out more about it. And once I got it, saw that it was really going to make terrific pictures. So we decided to come down and shoot it. And the purpose of this is to let our audience see the place, really, and get them turned on to it so that if they want to go down and see it later, they can. And it's visually exciting. It's kind of an interesting place. It should make pretty good television.
Strange.
Bucket so nuts.
Bucket so strange. Gary, where's Gary? There. Where is the box? Where's the tie-in? Right there?
Yeah.
Let me just take a look at it briefly, so I'll be able to think about it while I'm walking around. $220. 110. 110.
What I'm called, as regards the show, varies from day to day, because our functions vary from day to day. Some days I'm a unit producer. Some days I'm what we laughingly call a field producer. A unit producer is the person who is in charge of a unit of people, of 4 people that will usually go out on a shoot or are involved in the pre- and post-production of a shoot. A field producer is what we call a cameraman. The reason we call that person a field producer is for union reasons. We can't be called cameramen, otherwise we would have to be union. In a shoot like this at the Winchester Mystery House, I am both unit producer and field producer. I'm producing the piece for the show, and I am the cameraman.
Yeah, just walk the whole tour real quick.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll meet you back down here.
Okay. Keep an eye on this.
Okay. When'd you go? Oh, you sure you don't want to go? These originals.
Is this part of it?
Yeah, this is what is known as the carriage entrance hallway. You'll notice the concrete blocks were purposely rough, and that was so that she could drive her horse and buggy in here and give the horses a little bit better traction. This way she could get on and off of her buggy without having to worry about the weather conditions outside. We're going to quickly breeze through. We've got a tour that's coming in here.
Was most of the house furnished?
We understand about 75% was furnished. To give you an idea of how long or how much furniture that was, we understand it took the movers working 8 hours a day, 8 truckloads a day, about 6.5 weeks to empty the house. As we used to tell people on the tour, don't be alarmed that you're all standing on trap doors. But if you were to fall through, you'd fall the tremendous distance of about 1.5 inches down to the zinc building below. Originally, Mrs. Winchester had almost 162 acres, most of which she farmed. Going from left to right, if you look to the far left, you can see the small green shed over there with the yellow and red roof. That was her gardener's tool shed.
Good luck.
Let's go down. Let's go downstairs. Let's sit down for about 10 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, and decide which specific areas we want to see again. It's for 7 minutes, boy. It's going to be hard to get a lot of it in.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that rather than duplicating a tour in terms of the way you would run people through a house tour, since we can't hope to cover all of that at all,
Yeah, for sure.
we should take it in some sort of a logical house sequence. And if we could start in the front door, living room area.
Ballroom, living room, front door, ballroom.
And the ballroom.
Just proximity, I think you're talking about, not so much.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to go from 7 to 1 and then back to 6.
What I'm concerned about is that you're going to blow your wad, as we say in the trade,
First.
with all the really great-looking stuff right in the front of the piece.
Well, not necessarily, because then you got those stairs. We could do the living room, front room, ballroom, then the stairs, switchbacks. In terms of how it will appear in the piece, not in shooting time. Right? The living room, front room, ballroom.
What would
Okay.
be the
Stairs.
clothes? What do you want to do with clothes?
The issue of closing off the front of the house is very poignant, almost, when you come to that living room and the ballroom and say,
So
and then
beautiful.
after the thing, this was all sealed off, but that is an outgrowth of the room in which he was trapped.
Well, maybe,
So you
how
should go to
about
the room
this?
in which he was trapped first.
Very first?
Well, it would seem to me you should go to that bedroom before you go to these two rooms.
But can't you edit that?
When we began the show, we were told by Westinghouse Broadcasting that we were to do it using mini-cam technology, using videotape, 3/4-inch videotape technology. We were all very excited by that because it was something that none of us had ever done, and it was fun to be playing with new types of toys. Since that time, we've come to both love and hate the equipment because it's very difficult to work with, but it makes terrific pictures when it works right. What we use essentially is an Ikegami mini-cam, and I'd like to get my hands on the guy who called it a mini-cam because there's very little about it that's mini.
Okay, roll it. And give me a good loud speed when you got it.
And it records onto 3/4-inch video cassettes.
Tonight on Evening, Steve and I come to this house, the Winchester Mystery House.
Dr. David Fisher will have some diet advice,
Martin Dean tells us how to find a good lawyer,
more common sense, dollars and cents words from Marva Johnston.
and I go to a basketball game where the players happen to be deaf.
All that after this Channel 5 editorial. Stay tuned.
How do you feel about the fluff?
I wish to do it again.
Okay,
it's
we
not
go.
common sense, it's dollars and cents.
Solid.
For audio, we use wireless mics. We use Sony ECM50s, little lightweight lavalier microphones, and we use radio microphones, which means that the talent have on their bodies little tiny FM radio transmitters that transmit back to receivers that are on the equipment dolly that we take with us. They are an extraordinarily wonderful thing to have, and I hate them more than I can tell you.
This is the one that is eating batteries, and I don't know why, and I haven't had time to get it checked.
Miracle with radio mics.
Save your mics. Stop the tape and check it.
Well, as Scott Gibbs, our producer, said, it's kind of like Los Angeles. Started small and just kept growing. It wasn't
Water tower time. Okay, how high is that water tower? This 50-foot cable will make it up it?
35 feet.
Okay, this cable will probably make it up it. This one here.
Should make it barely.
Look at the connector in your hand. You will notice that it has 5 little registration type pins around it. Look at it. No, there you go. You must make sure as you're doing that, that the one in your hand is going straight in, that it isn't like this, or up, or down. It's got to go straight in. It's actually a slight up angle, but you'll see that it's got to be, perpendicular to the other connector. Lots of luck. I spend a lot of time, or waste a lot of time, trying to do things the quick way when I should do them the more smarter way.
I would not trust the railing too much.
Yeah, I have no intention of fixing it at all. Radio mics! Radio mics!
When I hit a job, whatever I'm shooting, I always try to figure out what kinds of problems I'm going to run into first,
Is the mixer on?
and try to make them attack me early in the day.
Mixer!
Do the toughest stuff first,
Mixer on!
because just by virtue of the intense concentration it takes to pay attention to what you're doing, and to always look at what's in the frame, because over the years of shooting I've discovered
Hold it!
things in frames that I never thought were there. You come bring your footage back and look at it, and suddenly you see a wire hanging down, or you see a light stand in a frame, or you see a cable running through a shot, or some guy's looking in a window giving you the finger or something, and you didn't see it while you were shooting. So you have to pay very careful attention, the intense concentration, and that's exhausting.
You're facing the other camera, then turn and look out.
It was bound to happen.
Actually, we're not shooting at all. We're just trying to get a free tour out of this.
Right.